This morning my committee took evidence on Island's plan, and one really important topic within that is depopulation. And the contributing factors include the lack of housing, the ferries, the impact of HPMAs, but also digital infrastructure, given the hugely significant impact that broadband, or more importantly, the lack of broadband has on the sustainability of rural communities. Now, we know that communication regulations are reserved, but the physical deployment infrastructure is devolved to each of the nations. So on that basis, can you tell us why R100, which was a flagship project, which was supposed to be completed by the end of 2021, has gone so badly wrong, and we're now looking at the end of 2028 in some instances? So as a First Minister, what can you do to accelerate the programme and give rural communities assurances that the commitment that was given by the Scottish Government will be delivered? And will you also commit to a review of R100 to identify why it's gone so wrong?
So it won't be a surprise to Finlay Carson that I disagree with his characterisation of R100, and I'll come to that very shortly. I know from various different ministerial portfolios that I've had, particularly as Minister for Transport and the Islands, just how much of a concerning issue depopulation in our remote rural and island communities absolutely is. And Finlay Carson was right to give and to articulate the range of factors that cause depopulation. So we are committed as a government to having that cross-governmental approach. We know how important housing and affordable housing is. That's why one of the first announcements I made was around additional funding in relation to the purchase of empty properties back into the social rented sector. We think that can help, particularly in rural communities, in addition to giving local authorities more power in relation to council tax and second homes. So we are really keen to work on a range of these issues, but take a cross-governmental approach. There's no doubt when I travel to remote rural and island communities, a number of issues will come up, and where we can work with the UK Government on these issues, we'd be keen to do so. And we're not, I'm afraid, unfortunately, going to be able to convince the UK Government, it seems, of the folly of Brexit, but there's no doubt that that has had an impact, as well as migration policy. We're really, frankly, desperate to see if we can get the UK Government to see sense in, for example, extension of the rural visa pilot, but also what more can be done around migration to help the population. So there's a whole range of issues that are in our gift in the Government. I accept that. It's some where we'd be keen to collaborate and work closely with the UK Government. In terms of R100, it's a fair question to ask, because digital connectivity is so important, not just for individuals, but for businesses in remote, rural and island communities. Look, I'm absolutely committed to making sure that the progress we have made with R100, which is exceptional in terms of the investment that we've made, the coverage we now have, is continued. There have been a number of reasons why R100 didn't meet that initial target. There's undoubtedly, of course, the impact of COVID. We know that would have had in a whole range of projects, but I'm very, very keen. He asked for a review in terms of getting it back on track, and make an absolute commitment to do everything we can within our gift and within our power to make sure that digital connectivity is countrywide, including our remote, rural and island communities. But if it wasn't for our investment, there are many parts of the country that would be in a complete digital black spot if it wasn't for the significant investment of the Scottish Government. So yes, I'm absolutely keen to see what more we can do to make sure that programme delivers for remote, rural and island communities across the country.